Begin with a little prayer. Loving God, thank you for this time together. May our hearts be open. May your spirit be present. And may we take something that helps us get through this week. Amen. I should have prayed to get through the message, actually, because I'm a little emotionally tender this morning. I've been spending several days with my uncle who's passing from this world to the next. And as I was spending time with him and trying to come up with some sort of emotional sustenance for a message today, I thought about, well, let's just do a video. And then I thought, no, actually, this is a really powerful, sacred, special time. And in focusing on a message for this morning, it really brought me a lot of peace, because even in those moments where there's just chaos and loss and realness just right up in your face, is for me the time when opening up to whatever love and grace and connection I can in that moment to a God that I know loves me based on how my life has unfolded and how I've seen other lives unfold, is really, really powerful and sacred. So here we go. Between. As I've shared, mostly during our time of prayer, my uncle is in the final stages of life after being diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer almost 7 years ago. He is between this life and what comes next. And this last week has been particularly difficult for our family. And the anticipation of the coming week is more than I can afford to imagine. Caregivers with sick children, my uncle's adult children having a complicated relationship with mostly an absent father, and the holidays have all left a gap in support and caregiving. As I prepared for this message, I thought of various places of between that are difficult to bear, yet must be endured. Life is just that way. As a person in recovery, I have heard the term life on life's terms countless number of times. And it perfectly sums up the fact that the unfolding of life is simply that. Life on life's terms. It's not a punishment. It's not a lesson. It's not personal or discriminatory. Life unfolds, and whatever challenges present themselves are reality. For my self-preservation, my attention and energy had to shift from despair to hope. If I had any chance of remaining emotionally sober this past week. That is to say, not falling prey to the black and white thinking that I have survived in historically. It's either all good or it's all bad. The situation is not good, nor is it bad. It simply is. Is it hard? Definitely. Am I alone? In some aspects, yes, but in the bigger picture, not at all. And that is where I have found God during this extremely trying time. Last week, we shared what some of us experience: God, higher power, spirit, Jesus, to be or not to be. A friend gave me this acronym for God that has really helped me, and that is gratitude observed daily. I don't want to seem like I am coming from the toxic positivity lens that, if you know me, that is not anywhere in my realm of thought or action. I'm okay, or I try to be okay with the complexities of life. as best I can. However, last week's conversation about who God is and God isn't, that conversation has comforted me throughout this week, and it encouraged me to seek the moments where the love of God appears to me, not in a way to deny or escape or outrun the other things that are going on, but certainly as a way to be the most authentic I can be, the most present that I can be, and for the people that I've chosen to care for, the most loving I can be. As my thoughts guided me to a foundation rooted in connection, I thought of others in my life who are standing between. Widening the circle, there are so many in our local community, our national and global setting, families and individuals experiencing various stages of the between times. It's just reality. For me, the worst part of the in-between place is feeling intensely lonely. It is also a place where I find it easy to get stuck. So with intention, I mustered the energy to take small steps toward unstuckness. I went outside. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful, and Mother Nature revealed hope to me. I had a photo I wanted to share, but technical difficulties being what they are, it'll have to come sometime in the future. As I walked, my thoughts lifted above the fog of the moment to wintered buds expectant with life. I thought of Kel signing the lease to his new home and the journey before him to a fully stocked and ready for meal making at a whim kitchen. I thought of this week between Thanksgiving and Advent is really appropriate as an in-between time, anticipating hope and love and joy and peace. Whether I can find it in this moment or not, the anticipation is worth setting and holding. Bonding with a new puppy or a not so new rescue. The silence between ground-shaking violence. The sudden loss of life through the first without our loved one, settling into a new reality of absence. The in-between space of terminal diagnosis to last breath. Day 1 of recovery to day 365. The first flutter of life to the first cries of birth. The gifts I have found in this between time do not disregard or replace the sorrow, frustration, and fear of the unknown. It is a both and experience. It is the awareness that sadness and joy can be found in the same room. And there is a thread that weaves through our common humanity to hold us together in times of unraveling. I lift up prayers of thanksgiving for the clarity provided by hope, the joy found in shared humanity, and the connectedness of life on life's terms experience we are all navigating together. Hear these words from John O'Donohue to bless the space within us, a book of blessings. Within the grip of winter, it is almost impossible to imagine the spring. The gray, perished landscape is shorn of color. Only bleakness meets the eye. Everything seems severe and edged. Winter is the oldest season. It has some quality of the absolute. Yet beneath the surface of winter, the miracle of spring is already in preparation. The cold is relenting. Seeds are waking up. Colors are beginning to imagine how they will return. Then, imperceptibly, somewhere, one bug opens, and the symphony of renewal is no longer reversible. From the black heart of winter, a miraculous, breathing plenitude of color emerges. The beauty of nature insists on taking its time. Everything is prepared. Nothing is rushed. The rhythm of emergence is a gradual, slow beat, always inching its way forward. Change remains faithful to itself until the new unfolds in the full confidence of true arrival. Because nothing is abrupt. The beginning of spring nearly always catches us unawares. It is there before we see it, and then we can look nowhere without seeing it. May these words comfort and hold us in times when we need it the most. Amen.